Good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of our management, principal, and professor in charge and staff of DBJC College, it's my great privilege to welcome you all to this 5 days virtual faculty development program on research, the journey from the inspection to the publishing. On day 4, our FDP topic is potential thesis writing. Today we have an eminent resource person, Dr.D.Akila ma'am, in our research journey of FDP. So we introduce our resource person. So Dr. D. Akila, as a completer, has postdoctoral fellow in computer science in Lincoln University College, Malaysia, and PhD in computer science from Bharatiyar University, Tamil Nadu. She received his MCA from Bharatiyar University, MPhil degree from Bharatdasan University, ME Computer Science and Engineering from Vinayaka Mission University. She is currently working as a professor in Department of Computer Application, Saveetha College of Liberal Arts and Science, Deemed University in Chennai. So, India well-known university. She has 15 years of teaching experience in both UG and PG level. Her research interests including the data mining, big data analysis, cloud computing, image processing, knowledge-based system, and web application exploration. She has produced 2 MPhil scholars and 8 PhD research scholars. So, under her guidance and supervision, she is actively involved in various reputed professional bodies members like senior members in IEEE, International Association of Engineers, Hong Kong, members in Computer Science Teacher Association, New York, in the Internet Society, and International Society for Research and Development, World Academy of Science, Engineering and Technology. She serves as an editorial board member and technical committee and reviewer in many international journals of Springer. She serves as an international committee member towards the conference conducted in association with IEEE, Springer and Scopus. She has published more than 100 research papers in various international journals such as Scopus, Springer, and US Referred Journal. She has authored 7 books. She received Lifetime Achievement Award 2018-19 towards outstanding contribution in education by National IT Cyber Security Research Association, Government of India. Achiever Award 2019 towards outstanding contribution in the field of education. So, Feminine Foundation and Uir Talir Research and Resource Organization, an excellence teacher in information technology, the Global Out Research Education Award 2019, Delhi. So, once again, I welcome you, ma'am. So, now I request our resource person, Dr. Akila ma'am, to the section. So, before that, I request all the participants to mute your mic and the feedback link will be posted at the end of the section. I welcome you, ma'am. Please take the section, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the intro, ma'am. It was a very brief introduction for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shall I share the screen first? Later we can start.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You can start.
So very good afternoon to one and all who joined for this session. First of all, let me thank everyone who gave the chance for me to join in this excellent platform. So let me start from the President sir, Sri R. Dayanand sir, Dayachand sir, Secretary sir, Dr. C. Murugesan sir, a Principal in charge, Shaktivel Murugan sir, Professor in charge, and Dr. S. Balaji sir, Head Department of Computer Science, Dr. B. Jagadishan sir, IQSC Coordinator, Head Department of Computer Science. I thank everyone who gave this chance for joining this in this 5 days virtual FDP on research, the journey from inception to publishing. First of all, I would like to thank the management and the department who chose this title, Research, the Journey from Inception to Publishing. Actually, as a part of IQSC cell, all the colleges will be planning for this research-oriented FDP programs. Here they have given the title, The Journey from Inception to Publishing. So I think they are very familiar. Everybody knows that the journey starts from the inception and finally the entire research program will complete by publishing the papers and of course the thesis. So publishing is not only the journals and also publishing the thesis also, right? So I have given the title Potential Thesis Writing today. It's my part. So I think for the last 3 days, Dr. Ilangon sir, Dr. Dharmarajan sir, and Dr. Vijay ma'am has given enough introduction about the research. So without any delay, I would like to start directly with the thesis writing. So to start with, just I'm going to tell you what is a research. Just 2 lines. I don't want to take much time in the area research because enough introduction was given already. So we all know that research plays a vital role in our lives, right? And it is from healthcare, education, technology, and social policy. Everywhere the research plays a very important role, and it is a process of investigation. Actually, in a normal term, we have to say this as a investigation only. What is the purpose of research then? To find the solution for the problems. What problems? Again, the problems whatever we are facing in the day to day life. So the solution can be given for all the problems whichever faced by the people or whoever it is. Even for the research has been is there in the world for all types of living things. Even for non-living things also we are doing the research, right? So research is there in everywhere, in every part of the life. So it is essential for the progress of the society and also for the development of new ideas, technologies, and innovations. So in this session, in this 1 hour session, I'm going to take only about the thesis writing, not about the research area. And where the thesis writing is coming now at the final part. Actually, we will start. See, thesis writing is there only if we go for a research program, like if we are taking MPhil or PhD programs or any other related research oriented programs, right? So only at the stage it's like an examination. See, in UG or PG, we used to write an paper, that is examination paper. Through that only they used to do the evaluation, and based upon the paper marks only we are awarded with the degree or marks, or whether it is a pass or fail. So, in the case of PhD degree, not everyone, it is a very important area where everybody in the world has to accept, right? So, everybody means we cannot do such things. So, for that only we are having the journal publication prior to thesis. As per the university, most of the universities following the same pattern of trends only, like publishing the papers, and later finally only after publishing all the works only they will go for the thesis final submission. So on journal publication itself they will go for some reviews. Finally the paper will be published and it will be open to everyone. It will be displayed in the www, that is web. And finally if any comments is over there in the paper, then automatically it will come to us. Then we can make the changes according to the review comments whatever we are receiving from the journal or in the open. It is open to all, so anybody can reply for the queries, right? Problems, that is whatever we have done in that work. So after completing the journal we are going to frame the thesis. So thesis is the one which covers day one till the end. So the thesis is not the final stage, it is the one which comes from the day one till the end. Okay, obviously day one means what? Title choosing, right? So where we start the application. So when we decide to have an area where we are going to have focus the research now, so we are going to start thesis work from that part. So the thesis writing is not the final stage one, it is the part of the entire research program. So we should not take it as a very normal thing where we can focus this area at the last period of time, last 6 months we can have, or last 1 year we can have this thesis writing. We should not take it in that sense. So always we should give importance for this thesis writing. From the beginning, we have to concentrate from that. Okay, so what is a thesis? First, let me give you a crisp idea about what is a thesis. A thesis is a type of research paper. It's like a research paper only, but it will be a very brief one. Once again, once again. Yes, sorry for the trouble. Actually, my battery is getting down. My laptop battery is getting down. That's what I connected to the charger. Okay. So the thesis is the type of research paper, but the research paper will be very. Ma'am, is it audible, right? One second, I'm
Yes,
confirming.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, is audible.
Thank you. So it will be something elaborate. So that is what they are telling it as a publication. Again, thesis is again a research paper, and it is based on the original research only, what we have done for the long research program. It is usually submitted at the final step of master program, or it may be a bachelor degree also, but it depends upon the university where they are following. In some of the university, in some of the foreign universities now, even in for UG, they are including some research programs nowadays. So our generation is like that. So we should be happy about their earlier startup with the research oriented things. So this research writing, that is the thesis writing, is it can be a daunting experience also. It relies on your ability to conduct the research from the start to finish. So if we are starting the thesis writing from the start, the thesis writing from the initial step, then it will be better to finish in a successful way. So the next one, I'm going to start this thesis writing by giving the entire architecture, that is entire structure, or in a chapter or sections. Okay. So first of all, so this structure may varies from university to university. Each and every university, they will be having their own pattern of having the thesis. So it is a common one. What I have given from most of the university, they are following this one. So you have to check with the university earlier before starting the thesis work, so that you can now adapt with that format from the earlier stage itself. Okay. So first of all, the title page, where we have to give the full title, subtitle, name of the author, and the registration number, everything, date of submission, everything will be given in the title page itself. On one more page, the same page will be given in the next page also, and followed by the abstract. Abstract is a consolidation of all the research work, whatever we have included in the thesis, and it should be self-contained. Okay, where it should be something concise. And contents list, what are the chapters we are going to have, like one by one we have to give one all the sections, and with the page numbers we have to give. And the next one is the list of tables, diagram, illustrations. So whatever the figures we are included in the chapters and the tables. And here I have to mention one thing, that suppose if a figure is mentioned in the second chapter, then that figure number will be 2.1, 2.3, like we have to give. Similarly for the tables also. So on seeing the table number or figure number, we can identify in which chapter it had been included or not. Okay. So the list of tables and diagrams and illustrations is the next to contents list, followed by the nomenclature. Suppose the short abbreviations and all is there, na, acronyms, everything. So that should be listed, because research in a particular field will not be restricted with that particular area person. The third persons also can read the take the thesis, and they can read out all the thesis for if they have any interest. Suppose if I have any interest over the biotechnology or any other biological things, then I can go for the thesis whichever prepared by the researcher in that particular biotechnology area. So if so, I cannot understand whatever the short terms they have given. So we have, it is must to give the nomenclature list in the initial stage itself, so that they can refer then and there, so that it will be easy for them to relate them themselves. Okay. And finally the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement, we can, whoever, we have to say thanks now. So for all the person, we have to give the acknowledgements. So it is must to give always priority from the management of the university, followed by the register everybody, and you can go for your supervisor, co-supervisor. And finally, if anybody has helped you in completing this work, that is research work successfully, then you can give some acknowledgements over there in your acknowledgement page. And finally, maximum in India, they will acknowledge their family. I think everybody will accept. Without family support, it is not at all possible for anyone to complete the research work successfully, particularly for ladies, okay, women gender na, we are surviving only with the help of this family support only. That without that it is not possible for us to do all this research simultaneously. And thank all the family members who are helping the women to survive in this world. Thank you so much. And the next, so I just want to tell you something. I am not going to concentrate all this abstract contents because these are very familiar things we are doing from the earlier stages. So that is UG documentation. We are doing this abstract content list, everything we are doing from that stage itself. So I am not going to discuss from title page to acknowledgement. So I am going to concentrate only in this area, chapter 1, chapter 2, like where we are going to give more focus about the research. Okay, so our research actually starts from here only. So I am going to give an idea about these areas alone in this presentation. So chapter 1, it is going to be about the introduction. So in this introduction we are going to post what are the information now, need of the study, need for the study, statement of the problem, purpose, significance of the study, then research questions, hypothesis, limitations, research, or so whatever things we need to include, we can have it in introduction. But these are the things that should be included in this introduction page because this is must. So everybody who is evaluating this thesis or whoever is studying this thesis now, they will expect this type of questions. There is this type of answers from you. So definitely we have to include it in the introduction area. Then the second thing is review of literature, theme, sub-theme, summary, everything. And chapter 3, design and methodology. What is the research design or methodology, whatever we are using. And finally, chapter 4, data analysis. And chapter 5 will be about the discussion and conclusions. So actually, if I have guided a few research scholars, we used to. It's all about an experience only. We used to have a flow. See, first initially abstract should be there, followed by yeah, objective should be derived in the initial stage of the research itself. But it is very difficult to find out the objective of the research. It is the very toughest job. If a person is identifying that objective, then 80% of the work is over, according to me. Okay. So before that, we have to look at all the existing parts in the same domain, whether what are the things they have done in that area. So we can understand where the thing was left without any answer. So when we can identify this type of gap, research gap, now that we call it as a research gap. So where when we can understand that now only after studying more number of papers. So only with 50 papers or 40 papers we cannot predict the research gap. Only after going through hundreds and hundreds of papers only we can identify that research gap. Maybe on 80th paper also we can identify some gap. So it is our interest and how we are going to concentrate on that area. That all included, that is all together only we can identify those things very easily. So the review of literature over. Then from the review of literature, we are going to identify the gap. And if the gap is identified, so we are going to give one solution for that gap, research gap. So automatically that is limitation or drawbacks கூட சொல்லலாம் இல்ல. And finally we can give the suggestion, that is our objectives. So to merge this gap, I am going to propose one new solution, okay, which will give some solution for the existing problem. Okay, then after objective, then one by one we will take and we will give suggestions or solutions. Finally we will compare with the existing part and we can go for the final evaluation, then followed by the thesis, everything. Okay, so this is the flow of the thesis. Actually this is flow of research work, and the same has been repeated in the research also, the structure of thesis also. So they have given like discussion and conclusion. Finally, see conclusion chapter summarizing the main findings, statements about the main contribution, and recommendations of future work. So after conclusion we'll be having the future work, and finally the references. Okay, so references, you know very well, it is like citation for the purpose of citation. So where we are going to have the points, that is from where we have referred that particular point, that we are going to give explicitly in the reference part. See, that is here I need to say about the plagiarism also. So in further slides I have put one slide for plagiarism. So it is very important thing. So citation is very important in the case of references. Only then the plagiarism can be avoided. Okay, or else it is a very difficult process to reduce the plagiarism at the final stage. So finally, appendices. So this is the overall structure of what structure of a thesis. Okay. So before getting into the chapters one by one, I just want to give an overall idea, that is overall tips like things to write a thesis in a potential way. Okay, right. Now, before you start writing, now define your topic. Okay, define your topic means what? The width of a topic. That is how it means number of words or number of collections. Not mean like that. All the things should be included in the, that is whatever the research. On seeing the title itself, the third person should understand what is the entire, that is what is the thing they have included in the entire thesis. Okay, they should understand from the title itself. So in which domain they have done, what is the technology they have used, or what they have done, whether they have improved accuracy or whether they are enhancing the thing, or what is the thing, what they have given like final solution. So whatever the thing we are doing in this thesis, so the third person can understand through the title itself. Okay, so without topic is very important. It's a broad enough to address an important and interesting issue, but narrow enough to address the issue in a time. Okay, right. So even it cannot be fixed at the earlier stage, even in the final stage now, before submitting the thesis also we can change the topic according to the results what we have generated. So the second one is to understand the limitations of your situation. So what are the limitations then? So limitations may be your capacity, your motivation, your experiences, additional things whatever we have taken in our head, your supervision, required lab work. So if the lab is not good also, we cannot survive, that is we cannot do the research work in a proper way, and automatically we should be dependent on someone. So obviously there will be delay in the work also. So do some previous readings, right, to make sure to understand at least roughly what you are getting into. Okay, so that is what, do some previous readings, through that we can do some better job. Then creating a timetable, I think this is a better way to have an paka plan. Okay, so coordinate with your other commitments so that we can plan accordingly. How many hours per time unit can you put for this? Okay, so discuss the timetable earlier.
Ma'am, can you change the slides, ma'am? We are not able to see the slides, ma'am.
Fine. So the experiment travel or other activities, it should be in the mind also while putting this timetable, everything. Okay. So first understand that you are not going to know exactly what you are looking for in the beginning. Research is not fully plannable. We cannot predict what will happen in the next 2 months. Okay. So research cannot be plannable. Only we can go approximately. Okay, so even after 2 months, if it is not satisfied or if the result is not given properly, then we have to come backtracking. All it's about the um, implications only. We cannot fix the plan earlier. So first read to explore, then the read to focus. Finally, read to understand all the details of the previous relevance work. And the third one is that is the next one is about read always. You can never do enough reading. We cannot that is we cannot be of course the PhD work, those who are doing in the part time now, they know this problem. They cannot concentrate themselves in reading the papers. Okay, so this holds especially for the PhD thesis. You should finally know more about the topic, then anybody else, including your advisor. Then only you can speak more on that area, or else your supervisor will do more and you cannot um, answer for those questions. Okay, so the confidence will come only if we are very thorough with the area of specialization. So first initial stage is to prepare well in that area, after that to find identifying the problems. Okay, right. So next one is the writing as you research. Okay, so as you read, take notes. So usually I used to say this to my scholars and of course my students also. See, on seeing the literature papers, no, we cannot judge, that is we cannot understand the entire paper on a single stretch. Only we can get them, only on seeing the abstract we will get some idea, and whatever we are understanding in our language. See, I can go in a super duper English or a normal English or whatever it is, but we have to write in an English whatever I can do. Okay, so that's not a matter at all. Understanding is very important. So on after 2 months or 3 months or even 2 3 years, if I see that statement, I should understand. Okay, so in that language we have to write, of course in English only, not in any other languages, because we are going to write the thesis in English language only. So so in that English language, in according to your perspective, you have to write the statements. That will be very helpful later while you are writing the thesis. Of course the plagiarism will be very less if you are having the same statement. Of course based upon the Grammarly or any other grammatical tool, na, English based tools, the statement may be changed somewhat, that is mild changes can be done, but the plagiarism will be less. Okay, so always it is better to go for an our own language writing. Okay, in our perspective, whatever we have learned from that area. So where I left, as you read, okay, take notes. And the second one, take advantage of other people writing skills and experience also. So some of them will be very good at thesis writing, means we can take the advantage from them, we can take the experience from them on, so that we can get some idea, na? So for that we can discuss with the people. We should not be very delicate to discuss with someone who is very well and good. Okay, right. So it is always good to discuss with the people who is well and good. Then writing. Okay, the third point is writing helps focusing and to clear the issues also. So you may have a good idea in your own brain, but only when you write them down, you will notice what is missing. Okay, so that is what I'm telling you. Always it is better to go for writing. Take a diary or take a long size notebook with you. Day one, always we have to put the date and start writing. So this is what I have understand, this is what I have understand today or from this paper. And wherever you are writing the point, na, immediately we have to mention from which journal or which issue, which volume we have taken. Okay, later we cannot go with all these journals. We will not find out all this journal at the final stage. In the thesis writing, now we have to put the references. So more than 100 references we used to put, but at that time we will not find out that much of papers in that list. So it is better to go with the journal that is a description also on the same that is same place where we are writing the perspectives, right? So also it is very helpful to explain things to other earlier in the process. Okay, so this may lead to you to have some useful feedbacks also. Okay, right. So the next one is a presentation. So whatever we are understanding, that is different. The presentation is very important. How we are projecting to the external world is very important, right? So shaping your thoughts, that is what we are telling it as a presentation. And layout presentation format, it is according to the institution guidance only. Okay, we have to check with that. So size of the page margin, it differs from one university to another university. You can see the shops and all, that is the binding shops and all, you can see different university thesis they will do together. So Anna universities will be different from our Wales University or SRM University. Their pattern will be different, and Anna University pattern will be very different. Okay, so you just confirm whatever the specification they have given in the earlier stage itself, and then start doing it. Then format of title page, numbering the chapters, Even page numbers also, the style of chapters, okay, section headings, quoted works, everything we have to check with the university guidelines, and then we have to go for the presentation work. The next one is about the flow of contents. Okay, the writing, um, flow of contents, it's like a novel. Okay, so thesis is also like a novel only. When anybody is taking your thesis and they start reading your work, means they should they should feel the continuity flow of work from the beginning to the end. Only then they feel it is a complete one. Okay, or else there will be some gap. See, the connectivity will be missing from one stage to another, one chapter to another. My PhD guide will used to say one tip. I think this will be helpful for everyone. Dr. Jayakumar sir now is a very nice person. It's God grace to get a such guide for me. um, Sir used to say, while presenting, that is while we will prepare that presentation, everything, no, for synopsis meeting and for all the DC meetings. That time sir used to say, when we preparing the slides, even for PPT slides, I'm telling you, there should be some connectivity between one slide to another slide. If I start with one content in the first slide, the same should be followed in the second, at least in a single word. So when I'm describing the things, so the people who are listening, the audience who is listening me now, they will get some connectivity. Okay, that is very important to have the flow of work. So here they have given some tips for you. Okay, so some suggestions. So avoid repetitions, so don't copy your own sentence several times first. So while I speaking also in the seminar or somewhere, we used to repeat the statements, but if the people is reading the content and the thesis, then they will get the bored of what they are repeating the same sentence again and again and again and again. So always we have, at least we should change. Matters may be same, but we should change the style of the thing. So we have to avoid the repetitions, avoid copying from other people's sentence. So we should not copy as it is from other things, because of course plagiarism will be there. And define all the variables in the equation and calculations. If even in the journal papers, if we are not defining all the equation and calculation, automatically we will get some review comments on this. So in thesis also we have to concentrate on it, and describe the test and computational conditions. Okay, and then leave out the materials that does not contribute directly to the discussion. If it is an unwanted area, then we can avoid it. Why we should? Because already enough number of content we have now, because the research work is like that. So if it is unwanted, if you are not going to have a relation between that work, and we can be avoided. Okay, and complex sentence can be avoided, because layman should also, layman means basic English. A person with the basic English and basic knowledge can also understand that work. Okay, that simple sentence should be framed for making others to understand very easily. Okay, and the illustration through the diagrams. Okay, illustrations and diagrams, and through the diagrams is it will makes the audience to understand very easily. That is, readers to understand very easily. So please keep in mind while writing the thesis to have the flow of contents in the thesis. The next one is abstract. So this is a general idea I have given till now. Now abstract. Abstract is provides a reader with a summary of content. So on seeing on reading the abstract of the thesis, it should give a concise, that is, what is that, a crispy idea about the entire thesis. Okay, it will be in a single page only, but it will give a complete idea about the thesis. Okay, right. Next, about the introduction. The next one after abstract, the very important thing is about the introduction. Okay, the general guidance.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes,
actually,
madam.
can you change the slide, ma'am? So I think I forgot to change the slide. I think so, ma'am.
It's not reflecting, ma.
Yes, ma'am. That
Oh,
will be
you.
okay. Sorry.
To miss.
Okay, okay.
You
Thank
informed
you.
me earlier now. Sorry.
Ma'am, that
Once
will be
again, I'll
okay.
stop, and again I'll be present. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Sure.
I'm going through lot of slides. It's very sorry. Madam, check now whether it is moving.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is the general guidelines, no?
Yes.
It's
Now it's showing
yes,
that
ma'am.
movement.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's moving, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. At
Thank you,
least
ma'am.
now you have to inform me. Thank
No,
you.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, introduction. So before writing an introduction, you must know what is a research. Okay, so we have given an introduction about the research. You know very well what is a research is. It makes every stage of writing easier only if we have an enough understanding about the research. So, research is defined as premeditated investigation using a scientific methodology. It may be a quantitative or qualitative, or it may be an experimental observations on many number of research varieties are there. So, we can have any type of research, okay, research methodologies to solve the serious problem. It's not an ordinary. So, definitely, if you are going for a research, means what it means. It is a very serious problem, right? So thus it creating an additional knowledge about the area. Okay, so the next one, it's a general guidelines about the introduction. Okay, so first of all we have to have a consultation with the supervisor, because supervisor guidance is very important in the case of research work. Of course, the final stage of thesis also, from day one to the last date, research supervisor guidance is very important, as we all know, who has experience know very well about that. Okay, so consult your supervisor to get a better idea, because they may have some more idea than us. Okay, so familiarize yourself with the style or format of the thesis writing. As I told you already, we have to get it from the university style, and design on your word length, how many words your thesis should be. Like, of course, in one or two universities, even the number of words are restricted for writing the thesis. Okay, so learn about the referencing styles also. Make sure you have all the necessary information for reference sections, and learn about indexing of your thesis, everything. Okay, so this is the basic general guidelines. And all the tips for writing introduction. First, state the problem. Okay, then identify the party affected by the problem. I told you know that research gap will be there. So that is what they have given here. Identify the party affected by the problem. So this is a research gap. Okay, explain how your plan is going to. This is a proposal, our own proposal. What is the solution we are going to give for that problem? That is the third one. And convincing the reader that you are qualified, that is qualified and equipped with the right methods of solution for that problem. This can be, that is, we can convince the reader only by comparing the result with the existing one. Okay, so without that the people will not accept our research work. So always we have to go for a comparison. Okay, so when compared to the existing work, my solution is better through this data. Okay, likewise we have to prove ourselves. And finally, highlight the benefits of the benefits of solving the problem. So fine, tell the reader what results you're anticipating. Okay, so this is a roadmap for developing an introduction. Write clearly. It should be precise and concise. Of course, for explaining for machine learning or whatever the data for area is. If you are taking an area, means enough pages can be given for the particular area. Then for methodology, you can give any number of pages, but all the pages cannot be occupied in the thesis. There are some restrictions. So it should be precise and concise in your introduction. Further, we have to concentrate in other sections also now. Like, state your problem statement clearly and explain what is the problem is worthy about the investigation. And after giving this, we have to state our objectives very clearly, and state your hypothesis also, and explain briefly how you would test, because hypothesis I'll explain you in further slides. So hypothesis means we have to prove it, or else it is an hypothesis only. Only after proving the results it cannot be a hypothesis, right? So right, how to write a problem statement. So before getting into problem statement, I would like to say a few lines about problem statement. It states actually the problem state. What is problem statement? Na? It states a specific condition, that is issues that need urgent attention and a possible solution. Okay, as a researcher, um, They read how to investigation fill or narrow the gap of the existing literature. Okay, then excellent problem statement is just a line or two, one or two lines. Within that one or two lines, we have to tell, oh, this is the problem which is not covered in the existing works. Okay, so that is called problem statement. We cannot go further. So the rest of the paragraph, an elaboration, discussion, possible solution. Most importantly, why it is a problem that needs urgent attention. Okay, so always, even if the problem is earlier, if the problem is long back, see, Corona, it was over 3 years, 4 years before, 3 years, I think, 2020 is our first. So in that period, Corona was there. Even after 10 years or 20 years also, people will do the works in Corona based medical issues. So in that duration also, what they will do, what they will insist in the thesis, na, this is the one which is a very important area where the concentration we have to give. Like they will give also stories, but the part is over before 10 years. Why? Because even after 10 years, the corona may, it should not happen again, but it may come again. So there is no full stop for any types of research. Even in image, so once I was starting my research in 2011, that is 2011 only, I started my research area, that is research or PhD work. On that duration, everybody told me the data mining is an outdated one. Don't choose data mining. Instead of that, you go for some other technology. But on the same stage, everybody has chosen the data mining. But now, after that is 2011, means almost more than 10 years now. Nowadays, also the people are doing the research in data mining. Whether it is an outdated one, we cannot put full stop for any areas. If I put full stop today, automatically tomorrow someone will do the research to break my research. Then day after tomorrow, another person will emerge with other answer to break the research done by the X1. Okay, so there is no full stop for any areas. Even for image processing, see, image processing was prior to data mining, but still we have a very good scope for image processing. Maybe few technologies has been merged with that image processing, but there is no end for image processing, right? Okay, so the next one, the PhD thesis problem statement must seek answer. That is, it should answer all this following 8 points. Then it is a proper one. Okay, we can call that problem statement is a proper one. What is a problem? Where is the problem? Is how can the problem be solved? See, if anybody is writing the thesis, means you can have all these 8 points. So on seeing that, on checking whether all the 8 points covered, means it is fine. Okay, my problem statement is pakka. We can say it in that way. So is the problem is the current issue? Will the problem persist if it is not solved? Or who are going to affect from this problem? Will this problem prove or disprove the existing knowledge? Like we can ask so much of questions with our problem statements. So the importance of problem statement. So these are the importance. So already the time is 2:17. I should go fast, I think. Okay. So the next one is about the importance. So you can see in the screen, these are the importance of problem statement. And the selection of research problem, it is based on the interest, okay, and the knowledge. The next one is the conceptual framework, and of course the data availability also. So without data, we cannot go into the research, in that particular research. So we have to collect the data from the, that is online area, depositories are there now. Through that we have to get it, or else we have to go for the live data. Okay, so that is also very important when considering this selection of research problem. So as I said before, this is hypothesis. Hypothesis means what? Hypothesis is an unproven reasoning. Okay, it enables an educated guess, or it may be a prediction of a result or relationship under a specific condition. It requires rigorous testing to determine its validity or reliability. If there is no proving of such things, that is, if we are not concentrating on this validity or reliability, if we are not determining those things, automatically we cannot prove about this is an hypothesis. Okay, so how do you test your hypothesis? It is clear, therefore, that the research questions and hypothesis are spine of any thesis writing. So both merge together. We cannot split into two. Okay. So these two components will determine the success of failure of the research. So you should know how much important this hypothesis is. Okay. Right. The next one is the contribution of the research. So what type of contribution we have given for this existing problem. So that is what we have to consider in the contribution of the research. Okay. So it can be measured. This significance can be measured in different way, by explaining the importance of a research problem, your findings, transformation of existing theory, by explaining the generalizability or lack of generalizability, whatever it is. And like many more questions can be asked for having this type of measuring significances. And the next one, your vital significance is research area, okay, in which area we have taken and whether it is significant or not. For example, let me tell you one statement: magnesium chloride helps to reduce the joint pain among Malaysian senior citizens. This is the problem statement, okay. So you did your experimental on Malaysian senior citizens and found that it really does. Okay. So if I am giving this, it is for Malaysian senior citizens. Obviously, we have to go for the area senior citizens, not with any other countries, right? So magnesium chloride really reduced or eliminated their joint pains. Whose? Malaysian senior citizen. Okay. So obviously you invented or discovered a solution and bridged the gap. So what is the gap then? The joint pain among the Malaysian senior citizens that will did not know the previously, and now we know. You see, this is how to measure the significance with the scientific evidence. Okay. Fine. Next, the review of literature. So I think I have discussed a few things about this review of literature earlier, but whatever discussion we have made in this review of literature, that is literature review, it should be cited at the end of the things, that is in the reference part, or else we have the citation will be that is, if the proper citation is not there in the review of literature, automatically the plagiarism problem will be raised. Okay. So if it is a true statement, if it is your own statement, write in your own way, then that will be very helpful for you. Then literature review is a section of your thesis or dissertation in which you discuss previous research on your subject. Okay. So however, you should avoid this ambiguous citation, like the same citation will be repeated again and again. This type of errors also I could see in some of the thesis. So please avoid all this, and it allows you to understand what others have said and about the topic, and to verify the assumption, and to refine your initial research question, and to identify the gaps. So this is the ultimate goal, to identify the gaps. Research gaps should be identified from the literature review only. Okay. So without that, it is not possible to identify the research gap. And one more thing, when you go for what is that, to collect the papers, it's like IEEE. See, nowadays we are getting the IEEE membership for a decent amount, that is for a 6, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 and all. We are getting that membership, and we can access the data also. Many institution has got the thing, but initially before 10 years when I was starting the thesis, that is thesis no, or a research now, that time we will be very, that is will be, it's very difficult to collect the full papers from the net. So all the papers will be blocked, and one or two websites are there to have all these papers personally, that is personal thing only. Okay. So the next one, so nowadays we have many number of avenues to which are open to have the full papers. Okay. Right. The next thing which I want to have is the research methodology, design or methodology. So once you have identified the research problem that you wish to investigate, you must validate your research problem by doing through investigations of documented literature. Okay. So how am I going to conduct my research so that I can solve the problem? And why you want to make the investigation, and what is the theoretical base of investigation? Like for this question and all, we should have the answer. Okay. So writing your research methodology. So the research design, sample population, test instrument, validity, reliability, and implementation phase, everything It is very important in case of writing the research methodology. And you need to plan the research design or a roadmap so that you can proceed with your study significantly. The most important section of your research design is the methodology only, nothing else. So it's a very important part of your thesis. So please be very precise about this area. And there are different types of research methodology. Basically, you will be having the qualitative and quantitative. The first one is about the quantitative, it is counting and measurable. This method investigation systematically views the population numerically and quantifies the data to percentage, okay, in relations to the whole, okay. Like, it's an example, like this method makes it easier for other researcher to repeat your experience or study. So if you in further, if anybody wants to extend your research, they can do in a do very nicely with your research work. Next one is a qualitative method. It deals with the contextualizations, interpretations, understanding, and perspectives of the respondents. This method investigates the quality of the information and data. It aims at collecting the information of people, views, and perception, their interviews, surveys. Usually, the BBA, that is administration oriented thesis, will be like this only qualitative, and our based is quantitative, right? Of course, they nowadays they can go for both type of things. It depends upon the people who is choosing the work. The result section, make sure that you are writing the clearly, right? There is the next to methodology is the result section. This is also very important one, where we are evaluating and we are going to give the results, where we are proving our work also, research work also. So first of all, the research section is indeed a very important section. As I said, it is for scientific research. Here you are reporting the results as this is what the same thing has been repeated in this slide. So don't worry if your finding is not supported your hypothesis also. So I used to say this statement to everyone who is doing the research. Even if you are getting a negative result also, this is also your research now. So you are getting a negative result. So if I do this type of work, or this type of comparison, or if I put this number of data with this algorithm, then this type of results will emerge. This is also an result, right? This is also a result, and this is also in a research. So don't worry about what is the hypothesis or what is the result we are going to get, but be honest, okay? So make an outline of the content in the result chapter, okay? Fine. Make sure that your narration does not go beyond the scope of the story, okay? You should not uh, write so much of stories in the result section. All the stories over in the introduction itself. Of course you can do in literature also, but in the result now only data speaks, okay? Or you can go for some diagrams also, so that will be helpful for the viewers to understand, and it is very easy to prove ourselves, okay? So an apparent from the above explanation, there is about all this. The objective of a research chapter is the outline of crucial findings of your investigation without discussion and interpretation, the meaning of your variables and findings. Okay, so you must make sure that it is free from typing errors and grammatical mistakes also, because very important. If you leave any mistakes like in variables or any other things, that it makes so much of impacts in the result section. So we should be very, 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 very conscious when we are writing this thesis section, that is research section in a thesis. Okay. Um, Conclusion chapter. So conclusion, it's a challenge as writing an introduction, okay? So whatever objective we are writing in the introduction part na, all the same should be repeated in the conclusion, but in a different way. The language will be different, but the everything whatever we have questioned in the introduction, but it should be answered in the conclusion chapter. So please check whether we have answered all the questions whatever asked in introduction in the conclusion chapter, okay? So in the introduction chapter you pose questions to your audience, while in the chapter you present the answers to those. That is what I have told you. The conclusion is not a summary of your introduction, even though it needs a paragraph that may summarize the whole thesis. Like abstract, if you see the abstract, you can identify, you can understand what is the thesis about. Similarly, on seeing the conclusion also, you can get some idea about the entire thesis. So it is also like an abstract, which is a conclusion of entire thesis work. That is research work. Okay, right. This is again tips like thing.
Ma'am,
Again,
I'm
your
not.
research. Yes, the time is going beyond, right?
No,
Yes.
ma'am, yes, we can take
Okay.
10 more minutes.
Okay. I'll complete as soon as possible, right? So please avoid the plagiarism, as we discussed about this plagiarism before. So general suggestions I have given in this slide, and thank you all. I especially thank the department and the management for giving the chance today to be a part of this 5 days virtual FDP. Actually, I have prepared more content, but it is not the time is not sufficient to cover all the topic within this span of time. There is one hour time. It is very difficult. So this is such a very important and very interesting topic to write a thesis in a potential way. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. If possible, we conduct a separate
Yeah,
FDP for
definitely,
writing the
definitely. We can
thesis
have
itself,
some other
ma'am.
sessions now. No problem.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am, for valuable suggestions. So now I invite Professor Monica to give the vote of thanks.
If participants have any queries, you can get it clarified now.
Any queries? If I know about those queries, then I can answer well. If I don't know, also I will check with someone or I will check with some senior person and I'll try to make it clear.
Thank you, ma'am. We have to come to end of the session. On behalf of the management, principal in charge, professor in charge, IQAC team, and Department of Computer Science, I thank our resource person, Dr. Akila from Saveetha College of Liberal Arts and Science, for accepting our invite very short period of time. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for sharing a broad explanation and idea about potential thesis writing for all of us. Definitely, this is going to be very useful to all the research scholars. Thank you once again, ma'am. And also, I thank all the participants from various college for the support and cooperation. Thank you, one and all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.